What's up everybody? Welcome back to the Yoda Expedition YouTube channel. Today we got another customer's vehicle in the shop. We got a 2018 4Runner in here for a front end leveling kit, and this model does have KDSS, so you know we got to do some corrections there. We're going to cover it in this video on what we're doing in this customer specific case, and I'll show you why and how it works. Okay, real quick, while Corey's doing his pre-inspection on the 4Runner, these are the parts we're going to be installing today. We have an Icon leveling kit. This is going to be just enough to get this stock suspension 4Runner sitting level and looking right on the road. Then over here, this is everything for the KDSS correction. These are going to correct the geometry and extend the life of the bushings on your sway bars. This is really important. Once he gets it up in the air, I'm going to show you its stock, and then I'm going to explain to you how these work and why you definitely want to do these if you're lifting your vehicle with KDSS.
Looks like you got a little mouse in there.
Yeah, got to check your cabin filters. We'll get that taken care of for him. This is a really good example of why we do the pre-check, and the cabin air filter is on the list. This looks like quite possibly this is the original one from 2018, and it does look like a mouse might have got in there and did a little chewing. But this is important. You don't want any rodents bedding down in your duct system. It's going to be blowing that around the vehicle. We're going to get this replaced for Jeremy and make sure that he has some fresh air in the cab. Okay everyone, right here is the bushing that we are trying to save. In order to save this bushing and make it last longer, we're going to be using this adapter plate right here. This is going to sandwich in between. It's going to change the mounting angle of the bracket for the sway bar, thus putting less stress on this bushing and making it last a lot longer. As you raise the front end of the 4Runner with the KDSS system, two very important things are going to change. This spacer is what's going to correct for both of those. The first thing that's going to change is the angle at which the sway bar intersects this bushing. We have to change the angle of the bushing so that it doesn't put undue stress on it and make it wear out prematurely. The second thing that's going to happen is, because this sway bar is a fixed length, lowering the control arm by raising the front end suspension is going to change the distance from this pivot point to the lower control arm. By adding this, not only are you correcting the angle that this intersects, but you're also adding shim to space it forward. This corrects for both geometry items that need to be fixed when you are lifting the front end of this vehicle. Corey's been working so hard that I was starting to break a sweat and I had to take the hoodie off. He's got the passenger side leveling spacer installed on there, and he's moved on to the driver's side. He's gonna get both leveling spacers installed first, then we can move on to doing the correction on the KDSS system. That way both sides are equal when we try to reconnect the sway bar. He's also commandeered the studio lighting as shop lighting. It's fine.
This side's finished up, just need to do the KDSS sway bar bracket.
right, Corey's got both of the leveling spacers installed. He's gonna go over here, grab the spacer brackets for the KDSS sway bar and get these installed.
I'm gonna put both bolts in here to align it so it's in the proper orientation. This one I'm gonna tighten down completely. This one I'm gonna have to take back out because it's gotta go through here when I go to install the sway bar.
So you can see this bolt and this bolt are going into the factory holes, and what it does is it relocates this factory hole for the bracket over here to the left, which changes the angle and gets it correct for the lifted vehicle so that the bushing down here is not as stressed. Now when we lift this sway bar back up, the holes on the bracket are gonna more easily line up with the new relocated holes using this KDSS spacer bracket.
So we're gonna have to take the factory sway bar bracket and we're gonna have to cut off these hooks here. With this being thick, you're not gonna be able to get everything to line up properly. So you're not gonna be using these hooks anymore. So we're gonna go ahead and just cut these off. We're gonna follow the lines that are already there and just go straight up on both sides, and then we can reuse these. So I'm gonna throw the wheels back on, let it back on the ground, and that should make it a little bit easier to get the bolt started for that sway bar. The lower control arms won't be at such a harsh of an angle, so hopefully getting everything lined up should be easier. And I'm also going to tighten the lower shock bolt with the truck on the ground so that when I tighten that bushing in place, it is in normal operating position. Otherwise, if I were to tighten it down now and then put it on the ground, the bushing would be twisting and it would limit the life of the bushing on the shock.
So Corey just used the jack to lift up the sway bar. He's getting the lower bolt inserted. All right, Corey put the lower bolt in both sides of the sway bar bracket. Then all you'll need to do is raise or lower the truck until the top holes swing into place, and you can put the top bolt in with no problem. That was a rough one.
Yeah, it was a little hard to get it started and lined up, but we got it.
So basically all he did was he used the floor jack to manipulate the suspension up and down till you get the angle just right. It's hard to get the holes to line up so you can get the threads to grab, but once you do, you can run it in. And all he's got to do is the same thing over here.
Got him.
All right, Corey's got Corey's got all.
Go ahead, you got it.
All right, Corey's got all 4 bolts in. It's kind of like splitting hairs. You need to get it perfectly straight so the threads can start. But you could tell it does line up with these holes much more naturally than it would with the factory holes. When you have to line it up with those factory holes, you're actually twisting the heck out of the bushing to get it back into those. What the heck did you just say to me?
I gotta torque-late the lug nuts, and we're done.
Torque-late.
All right, so we finished up the leveling kit and the KDSS sway bar spacers. We're gonna go ahead now and just throw in a new cabin filter get that replaced. We also picked up a new engine filter. We're gonna get that replaced for him. And then one of his tail lights, or one of his license plates lights, were out. So we're gonna give him a LED license plate kit for free. I'm gonna go ahead and throw that in too. So yeah. Got both filters in. I'm gonna grab a set of these license plate lights for him. We'll get those installed really quick. So as you can see, his one light is out here, and the OEM license plate lights here on the 4Runner are pretty dim and they're yellow. We're gonna get it replaced with a set of LEDs. They're gonna be much brighter, and it's gonna be a nice bright white instead. So I'll get this one hooked up and plugged in, and you'll be able to see the difference right away. Sometimes these bulbs are a pain to get out. So if they are, take some tape, wrap it around like so, and there you go. So there you can see the drastic difference between the LED Yoda X license plate lights and the factory ones. There pretty yellow, pretty dim, so pretty big difference. And these are pretty cheap, so if you want to grab a set, links in the description. You can head over to yodaexpedition.com and grab a set. Now we're going to take it outside, drive it around a bit, make sure everything's good. Get some shots of how it looks now with the leveling kit installed, and let them know his 4Runner is ready for pickup. All right guys, that's gonna wrap up this install on Jeremy's 4Runner. We got the Icon leveling kit installed on there. We also have the brackets for the KDSS sway bar from Dr.KDSS. We put a new cabin filter in there, engine filter, and some brand new LED license plate lights for them. So if you guys are looking to buy any of this stuff for your 4Runner or get it installed, you can hit us up at yodaexpedition.com. Our link is down in the description. If you're interested in install, send us an email at installation@yodaexpedition.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one.